Good morning, class 10th. This is the third topic of your chapter number 1, that is life processes. I have started this chapter before your vacations, and in this chapter, I already told you about nutrition in plants, animals, the digestive system, its main parts, functions, and I also told you about respiration and the respiratory system. That is the last uh, topic, I think, which I told you. Now, our third topic of the chapter is transportation. Transportation means to carry the things from one place to another place, that you know well. So, basically, in transportation is also known as circulation, that is movement from one place to another place. And if you are talking about the human beings or the plants, then it is the movement of the substances, basically the materials or the substances or the waste products, which are being carried out from one part of the body to other part of the body. So in first part, I'll discuss with you the transportation in human beings. In second part, I'll discuss with you the transportation in the plants. That is the easiest thing which I can tell you, and this you have studied in class 7 also. So let us start this one. So your transportation system is also known as circulatory system or the cardiovascular system. Cardio means it is related to heart. Okay. Because cardiac muscles are present there, so it is you can always, if there is any word which is means it is written cardio, means it is related to heart. So cardio and vascular means something which is in the fluid form. So this is the heart which actually pumps the fluid present in your body to different parts of your body. And how it is possible? This is being done by with the help of blood vessels. Okay, you can see here in this diagram that some fine tubes are visible. Okay, these fine tubes are known as blood vessels, and these are of three types: capillaries, artery, and vein. Okay, this I'll discuss with you later on. So basically this is the circulatory system, and now let us see in detail what are different things which are present in the circulatory system. So basically human circulatory system is made up of heart, pumping organ, the blood vessels, veins, arteries, and capillaries, and the fluid. These There are two kinds of fluid which run in your body, which flow in your body. That is blood and lymph. But here I'll discuss with you about blood in detail. Okay. Now let us see what is the composition of blood. Composition means what are the things which are present in the blood. So basically the blood is made up of a fluid, a clear liquid, which is known as plasma, and it is about 55%. And inside the plasma or the liquid part, this is the liquid or fluid part. Inside that liquid part, there are some cells present. Okay, and these cells are of three types, that is RBCs, erythrocytes, platelets, and white blood cells, that is leukocytes, and platelets, that is thrombocytes. Okay, so these are three types of the cells which are present in the plasma. Red blood cells, these are the largest in the number, this is the largest in the quantity, that is 45%. Platelets less than 1%, and white blood cell, that is leukocyte, is also 1%. So this is the blood. It is a connective tissue. In your class 9th, I have told you about different tissues. So it is a connective tissue. Connective means it is going to connect your different parts of the body, and but it is not in the form of that is, it is not hard in structure, it is liquid in structure. That is why it is a fluid connective tissue. Okay, fluid connective tissue. Okay, now let's see these cells in detail. So these cells, that is RBC, WBCs and platelets, that is erythrocytes, leukocytes and thrombocytes, these are produced by the bone marrow. Okay, inside the bone there is a cavity that produces these three types of the cells. So these cells look like this, like white blood cells. These are irregular in shape, okay, and these have nucleus. Red blood red blood cells, that is RBCs, these are biconcave, means like this. These are biconcave. And platelets, these are very small in structure, these are not having a proper shape also, and these are lesser number. So if I talk about the RBCs, these are very important because these have a kind of protein which is known as hemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin protein is present in the RBCs, and the function of hemoglobin is to attach the oxygen. Oxygen gets attracted towards the hemoglobin and it forms one compound which is known as oxyhemoglobin, and this oxyhemoglobin is carried out to different parts by the RBCs. So the function of RBCs is to carry the oxygen from your air, that lungs are going to bring the oxygen from the air and it will mix into the blood in the alveoli, and that blood, that oxygenated blood will be transported or circulated in the body. So this is the function of RBCs. WBCs, these are the cells which actually help in the fighting the infection. If any germ is going to enter in your body, it can be virus, it can be bacteria, it can be anything, any germ which is entering in your body, that will be destroyed by the WBCs. These engulf it and they destroy it. So the function of WBCs or the leukocytes is to fight the infection. Okay, these are going to increase your immunity. And then comes the platelets. Platelets are the kind of cells which help in clotting of the blood. What is clotting of blood? You might have seen once, whenever you get injured, your blood start flowing out. Whenever there is a cut in the vein or the artery, then the blood start pushing out of your skin. That means the blood is flowing. But after some time, what you see, that blood is going to stop, that blood flow is going to stop. This is being done by this platelets. These cells go and migrate and go to the place where the cut is present. These cover it so that blood will not move out. So this is the function of platelets or the thrombocytes, to clot the blood. Now, this is the second type of fluid which flows in your body, which is known as lymph. This you have not studied about this. This one is it is like a little transparent kind of blood is there. This is a transparent kind of fluid, and it has plasma, it has cells, but it has cells, that is WBCs and platelets. These two cells are present here, plasma is present here, but RBCs are not present. RBCs are absent in the lymph. Lymph is the fluid which is actually formed when the blood is flowing in the veins and arteries. It pushes out of the walls and it forms a separate or a different kind of fluid which is clear, and it is having more waste products than the useful products. Okay, so this is lymph, and let me show you. These are the lymph vessels. Like you have seen in our body, blood vessels are running through your body. In the same manner, lymph vessels also run in your body like this, and these are adjacent. These are found adjacent to the blood vessels. So whenever the blood is flowing with the pressure, it will means some of the fluid will leak out, and it will move to the lymph vessels, and like this another kind of fluid is flowing in your body. Okay, now first component is blood. Second component of the circulatory system is heart. Okay, this heart is the pumping organ, and the structure of heart I'll discuss with you in the next video. This heart is basically made up of cardiac muscles, and these muscles are different from the other muscles because these never rest. These continuously move and move. Okay, so this heart is made up of four chambers. You can see here: right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. These are the four chambers which are present in the heart, and it is connected with some of the blood vessels, blood vessels, that is pulmonary vein, pulmonary artery, aorta, and vena cava. This I'll discuss with you later on. And these chambers are divided by a septum, which is known as interventricular septum. So this is the structure of heart, and the heart actually pumps the blood, and it because of these boundaries, the blood never mixes to other chambers, to both the chambers. Okay, now comes our third part of the circulatory system. This is known as blood vessels. Blood vessels are basically fine tube like structures which are present in your body, and these are found connected from your heart. Okay, there will be one main blood vessels, that is aorta or the vena cava, and by that many smaller one will be produced, and these will be connected to other parts of the body. So blood vessels are of three types: artery, vein, and capillary. There are three types of blood vessels: artery, vein, and capillary. Let us see the structure of veins and arteries first of all. Capillary. Okay, capillary is basically formed by the further branchings of veins and arteries. When the veins and arteries merge together, these become fine and fine, and by that they form a network of the blood vessels, which is known as capillaries. These capillaries are actually helpful in exchanging the materials. This you have seen in the structure of the lungs, in alveoli. In alveoli, I told you that these are surrounded by the capillaries, and capillaries help in exchanging carbon dioxide and oxygen there. Here, artery and vein, these are two different kinds of the blood vessels. First of all, function wise, these are different. Arteries always carry the pure blood, okay, and veins always carry the impure blood. If I am talking about pure and impure, here if I am talking about pure and impure, it means the blood which is having oxygen is pure, and the blood which is having more carbon dioxide is impure. We call it, in biological terms, we call it oxygenated blood or deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood means in which the oxygen is deficient, and oxygenated blood means in which the oxygen is present. So these arteries bring blood from heart to different parts of the body. Once the heart has purified the blood, then it will bring blood from heart to different parts of the body, and the veins carry the impure blood, the deoxygenated blood, from different parts of the body to the heart. So function wise, these are different. Other than that, these are also different according to their structures. You can see here, these arteries are thick, okay, and their lumen means the inner portion, that is the inner, this vacant portion, the hollow space. This hollow space is less, lumen is less in the artery, and these are thicker. And if we talk about the veins, these are thin, you can see their walls, these are thin, and their lumen is more, means their space is more. Other than that, one more thing you will notice here, that here this structure, this is known as valve are basically the branches of wall of the veins that actually close sometime, so that the blood will stop here and then it will flow from other part, because blood is going to brought from other places. That is why there should be some walls, so that blood will not backflow. It will, these valve actually stop the backflow of the blood. Let us see again internally what are the different structures, because this question comes in your board exams, then what is the difference between artery and vein. That is why I'm telling you in detail this one. So this you can see in veins, this these are thin because their wall is thin, and arteries are thick because they have more walls. They have small lumen. Small lumen means their inner hollow space is less, and here vein has a large space, large hollow space. These walls are thick and elastic, and these are thinner one. Other than that, if you see these capillaries are very thin. They have very small lumen, and they have single layered cells only. So these are the structures, and one more point is missing here, that is valve are the structures which are present in the veins, and these are not present in the arteries. And function wise, veins always carry the impure blood and arteries always carry the pure blood. But there is one exception of that. What is the exception? Pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein and pulmonary artery, these are two different kinds of the blood vessels which are found connected to the heart, from heart to the lungs, and these are different in function. Pulmonary vein has a function that it always carries the pure blood from lungs to the heart, and pulmonary artery always carries the impure blood from heart to the lungs. So these are exceptions of the veins and arteries. Otherwise all the arteries carry the pure blood and all the veins carry the impure blood. So now my today's topic is completed. Now let us summarize it quickly, what we have studied today. So today we have studied about the circulatory system in human beings. The circulatory system in human beings is made up of heart, blood vessels, and the blood or the fluid. This this blood is made up of plasma, that is fluid part, and the cells, that is RBCs, platelets, and WBCs. They have different functions. RBCs carry the oxygen, platelets clot the blood, and white blood cells, that is WBCs, fight the infections, and these all are produced by the bone marrow. Lymph is another kind of fluid which is formed by the leakage of the blood from the blood vessels. It is transparent and it does not have RBCs, and it is having more nitrogenous, more waste products than the useful products. These are the lymph vessels. And heart, it is of four chambered. It has some blood vessels which I'll discuss with you later on. And blood vessels are of three types: artery, vein, and capillaries. The function of vein is to carry the impure blood, and the function of artery is to carry the pure blood. Capillaries help in exchange of the materials in the organ systems. So now it is complete. On next turn I'll tell you about the structure of heart, its working, circulation. Thank you, class.